Rockstars? It's me, MT, and the day that Wakanda Forever enters our eyeballs draws near, people, as we will all get the unique pleasure of watching beautiful black bald women fight fierce and feisty fishy freaks in just a few weeks. But as we get closer to the Wakanda Forever premiere, being the impatient nerd that I am, I just cannot help but wonder what major surprises we should expect to come out of this biggest war in the MCU since Avengers Endgame, because this is easily set to be Marvel Studios' most action-packed, emotional roller coaster ever. So you know some huge jaw-dropping moments are about to go down in this movie. So let's see if we can speculate on some of those jaw-dropping moments together, my Speculation Nation nerd babies, because I truly think that Marvel Studios has some really massive surprises to get the people talking in this here movie. But you know what the people are also talking about? NewRockstarsMerch.com, where you can find our newest latest Obsession shirts and all of our amazing nerd options over there. Like, you should pick up our newest latest Obsession shirt inspired by She-Hulk and House of the Dragon, because those are going away forever. Like, I don't even know if they're still around at this point, so pick those up immediately. All right, so the first major Wakanda Forever surprise that I definitely think that everyone should expect is the return of one Tony Stark to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yes, while I do know that Tony Stark's corpse started to Tony stank up the place after the Infinity Stones flash fried his internal organs in Endgame, I also know that in the world of comic books, no one ever stays completely dead. People die all the time and they come back. It's fine. Death is just a minor inconvenience at the most. And since we do know that a certain Iron Hero is set to make her MCU debut within Wakanda Forever, with actress Dominique Thorne playing Riri Williams, any true Ironheart fan knows that a surprise Tony Stark return from the grave is a core part of Riri's origin story in the comics. Mainly when a copy of Tony Stark's consciousness became the artificial intelligence for Ironheart's suit after Tony Stark was brutally killed during the events of the second superhuman Civil War. Thanks, Captain Marvel. You know, much like Jarvis and Friday were the AI buddies for Tony in the movies. But unlike Jarvis or Friday, because this was a full copy of Tony Stark's mind, this artificial intelligence was basically Tony Stark in a can and was able to mentor Ironheart during her first days of carrying the Iron Mantle. I think that by the end of Wakanda Forever, we could see the return of Robert Downey Jr. to the MCU through a short tease of this artificial intelligence arriving at Riri's garage as a gift to tag along with her in her Ironheart solo series. You know, much like Tony Stark surprised Peter Parker with his new suit at the end of Civil War. And speaking of Spider-Man, we know from the existence of Edith from Far From Home that Tony Stark believed that even in death, I'm the hero. So he for sure prepared some type of way to download his consciousness, especially since we know that people like Zola have done this before in the MCU canon. But another surprise that I think we can definitely expect for Wakanda Forever is the final appearance of T'Challa in the MCU. And no, I'm not saying that Marvel Studios is going to recreate Chadwick Boseman's likeness with CG technology to have him and Shuri drive off into different directions, Fast and Furious style. That's not what I'm suggesting is going to happen. That'd be weird. Please don't do that, Marvel. However, what's super special about Wakanda and the Black Panther story in general is that in this culture, death is not the end. And I have a strong feeling that we are going to see T'Challa amongst the rest of the Wakandan kings in the ancestral plane at some point in Wakanda Forever, but not in his human form, because of course Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. He will instead be in his spiritual panther form while being visited by his sister Shuri. Because if you remember in Black Panther 1, before he has a conversation with his father T'Challa sees his father transform from a panther to a human person. Because we know from the Wakanda Forever trailers that Queen Ramonda says the line, "My entire family is gone," which seems to suggest to me that at some point during this war of mermaids and metal, we might very well see what appears to be the death of Shuri in this movie, and Queen Ramonda grieving what she thinks is the loss of her entire family. T'Challa, and then Shuri. However, much like T'Challa was saved with the heart-shaped herb after he was tossed off of the waterfall at Death's Door, I can see Shuri being saved in a similar way here, right before getting her Panther brother's silent ancestral plane blessing and saying her final emotional goodbye to T'Challa, much like T'Challa got to do with his father T'Chaka, before Shuri emerges from the ancestral plane as the MCU's new Black Panther. So I personally expect to see T'Challa's final canonical MCU appearance to be in this movie. This video is brought to you by The Ridge. The Ridge wallet is light, sleek, and industrial, and it's designed to fit in your front pocket, unlike those bulky old school wallets that make you look like you're smuggling an 80s car phone in your back pocket. It's ridiculous. Check this out. nice and sleek. There are over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, and it holds up to 12 cards and still has room for cash in the back. And every Ridge wallet comes with a lifetime guarantee, and they'll let you test drive it for 45 days and send it back for a full refund if you don't love it, which you will. And the wallets have over 40,000 5-star reviews, and it's made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. And they also have other cool products like this commuter backpack. It's weatherproof and great for toting around a laptop. So get 15% off today with free worldwide shipping and free returns by going to ridge.com/newrockstars. That's ridge.com/newrockstars and use the code newrockstars. Find the link in this video's description. And we thank Ridge again for sponsoring this video. But lastly, while I do think that we will also see these beloved heroes cameo, I also think that we can expect the cameos of past villains that we never thought that we'd see again as well. Mainly the two main villains of Black Panther 1, Ulysses Claw and Erik Killmonger. Because much like I stated in my recent video on Ulysses Claw, I'm willing to bet to my left arm that Andy Serkis is not done with the MCU and will be teased as the main villain for the new Black Panther to fight in the sequel to Wakanda Forever. Because if you're familiar with the character of Claw from the comics, you know that he didn't really have a normal human body for the majority of his supervillain career, because he had his body and consciousness turned into living sound vibrations that could never truly die. I have a feeling that by the end of Wakanda Forever, we could see the return of Ulysses Claw to the MCU with a completely new sonic body after his physical form perished at the hands of Killmonger in Black Panther 1. Probably with the help of the leader and the New World Order that he's working with, and whatever version of the intelligentsia that Ulysses Claw was affiliated with before Age of Ultron. That is apparently nothing like the intelligentsia from She-Hulk. Because if you think about it, Claw created his prosthetic arm based on a Wakandan mining tool that helps render vibranium inert. And Shuri herself is a heavily sonic-based hero and vibranium sound expert with sonic blast hands of her own, as we saw demonstrated in Black Panther 1. This being the case, Claw is literally the perfect nemesis for Shuri to do battle with in a Black Panther 3. But anyways, like I alluded to before, I also think that we could see the return of fan-favorite Marvel villain Erik Killmonger to the MCU proper, mostly because Wakanda Forever is meant to be a celebration of T'Challa's unique impact on Wakanda and the world in general. And the direct source of that massive impact came directly from T'Challa having the most compassionate heart the Wakandan throne has ever seen. Like, think about it, guys. Think back to Civil War when T'Challa had his father's dead body in his arms after Zemo killed him, and the rage that T'Challa had in his eyes as he chased who he thought was his father's killer. That same beautiful Panther man, when he found out that Zemo was responsible for his father's death, saved the life of his father's killer instead of giving in to his anger like Steve and Tony were in the room next door. Because that is the kind of man T'Challa was, a good man with a good heart. And hell, T'Challa even yelled at that same dead father that he missed so much in front of his father's fathers when he realized just how badly his dad treated his cousin Killmonger when Killmonger was a kid. That very same cousin that just threw him off of a waterfall. Like, T'Challa was a selfless man who cared so much about the sanctity of life. So this all being said, I do not believe for a second that T'Challa let his cousin Killmonger die after he stabbed him at the end of Black Panther. Because if vibranium power technology could have saved Everett Ross's life after he got hurt in the first Black Panther movie, then a man literally covered in vibranium nanites at the moment of his stabbing could survive a stab wound with the power of compassion and a little bit of Wakandan science. So I definitely would expect to see the return of one Erik Killmonger very soon. But those are the major surprises that I believe we might see in Wakanda Forever. But what do you guys think? Let us know if you guys have any future surprise predictions of your own in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But most importantly, you can follow New Rockstars wherever we are on the social media. And of course, do not forget to hit up newrockstarsmerch.com today to pick up our latest obsession shirts and all of our amazing nerd options over there. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.